Welcome to Real American Monsters.
Hello, my friends in Monsterland. Tuesday night again at the Untold Radio Network. And Real American Monsters is back in the chair. We're back at the helm, and we are back in control for the next hour or so of your night. And we want to say welcome to one and all for joining us tonight. Tonight, like every other Tuesday, we have another great guest for you tonight. We have Miss Nicole Chivattoni with us tonight, and I got that name correct. I only had to say it 8 million times before the interview started, but I got it right. She is on. She can be found on. I met her on Alien 8 UK, Andy DeCode's channel, and I was interviewed on there, and then I met her again through Al Santariga. And she is part of, hold on, I got too much to remember all in one shot here. She is a member of the Full Moon Paranormal team. And we're very happy to have her. She's back in the green room right now, smoking cigars and drinking or whatever they do in the green room. So we'll have her out soon. Tonight, live in the chat room as the night goes along, we are going to give away finally, we're going to give a, whoa, that's pretty cool. Look at that. Whoa, green screen stuff. We're going to give away a copy of Frank Santariga's book, Paranormal Family and Friends. I'm going to tell you how to win it like halfway through the interview. It's going to be in the chat. You're all going to have a chance to get it, and whoever gets it wins an autographed copy from Frank. So once and final, we will give it away tonight. So I just wanted to say hi to everybody in the chat before we get started. Good evening, Wispabs. Good evening, Blue-Eyed Northern's with us. Diane Fowler. All the wrenches are here for your enjoyment. Miss Francesca E is with us. Good evening. Hello, Chris. You ready to go hiking this weekend? I'm ready to get up in the forest this weekend again. Chris Calabrese, who's in the chat room, has been accompanying me up to Rock Throw Alley, and we've had some good outings, and it's been fun up there. And Squatch Father himself is here. Alfred Santariga, my good friend BF Bud, is with us. So everybody's pouring in. This is going to be a good episode. You know, like I said, we need to start in the Bigfoot world, in my opinion, branching off into this paranormal scene and learning the frequencies and the vibration thing and learning about spirits and learning on what triggers and learning on what you could possibly take home from you in the forest, because I have done it. And there's plenty of people in the audience that have also done it. So that's enough for me. I think I got everything out. I told you about the book, said hello to everybody. So without further ado, let's bring out our guest tonight, Miss Nicole Chivattoni.
Jeez, I'm gonna have to have a talk with Andy. I never get an applause when I'm on our show.
Yeah, that's the. I think I'm the only one that does it. Really, I don't see anybody else doing it. So
That's fun.
I want to say thank you so much for taking time and spending it with us on Tuesday. I know everybody's busy. It's the beginning of the week. Everybody's back at work, or in your case, you work all weekend. So you're a busy lady, and I just want to say thank you for being part of the show tonight.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We're going to learn everybody. We're going to learn about stuff they use in the field. We're going to learn about what she does on investigations. They do a real cool thing when they're out there. Just don't go to these places and investigate. There's a purpose behind it. There's a cause, and we're going to learn a little bit more about that. I'll let her tell you all about that. So before we move on, you want to just give everybody a little rundown, a little bio on Miss Nicole Chivattoni, please.
Oh man, put me on the spot. So I am a member of Full Moon Paranormal. We're a group based in the Hudson Valley, New York, and we go out and we host public ghost hunting events to help bring in some money for historic locations in the area. Most of what we do is fundraisers, and it's a really good way to get people in our community interested in history, interested in the science behind ghost hunting, and help raise some money for these places. I'm also the co-host of Alien 8 UK on YouTube, so go check that out if you haven't. Like I said, we had Chris on. We have a lot of awesome guests.
Okay, all right, here we go. So now you know a little bit about Nicole, everybody, and that's why she is everywhere. She's hanging out with the big names in the paranormal field. She's hanging out with the little guys. She's doing her thing. And we were talking about this it's called the right before the show, and the Estes Estes experiment. We're getting feedback somewhere. Is that your check one? All right.
Was it my mic?
Yeah.
All right, hang on one sec.
All
right. It might help if I close the window. Does that help at all?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, good. Might have got like some of the cars going past outside.
Yep. It's all good. So we were talking about this Estes thing that they use in the field, and I'm going to let her talk about a little bit more about it. Than I don't know too much about it, but it's a great experiment. And why don't you just let everybody know why you guys pull this out, what the purpose is of this experiment, why you're in a paranormal place, and then we'll go from there.
Cool. So the Estes method is when you use a spirit box to communicate with spirits. In theory, it sweeps frequencies on the radio, and spirits are supposedly coming through in that white noise. The problem with that is when you're sitting there and you're listening and you're trying to pull anything out of there, chances are you're trying to pull out something that's relevant to the questions you're asking. So if I ask, can you tell me your name? I'm going to be trying in my head to find something that fits a name, that fits that question. What the Estes method does is kind of takes out that bias, because you'll have one investigator sitting blindfolded with headphones on in a separate location, and you'll have the rest of the investigators over here asking questions. So when you're under, you're calling out answers to questions you haven't heard. So it takes out a lot of that bias.
So so you're in two different rooms when this is happening. Does the other one person is totally separated from the other person and they're answering the questions that the other person's asking. You have been to many, many haunted locations, paranormal activity in a lot of places. Where is the craziest experience you've ever had using this technique come about? Where would that place be and what happened?
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about, because I know you had Father Bob on. We were at the Ritz Theater and we were doing an investigation, and I was under doing the Estes, and Father Bob had walked into the room, and I start shouting out things that are related to him, and I didn't even know he was there. And it wasn't until I came out, because I was literally like locked in a closet, that I even realized that him and James Anito came in. So that was a pretty cool experience.
Did you ever encounter anything that wasn't expected that like made you shiver inside, answering questions that someone else was asking?
So there's a lot of times when not so nice things can come through there. We get cursed out a lot. So sometimes you'll hear me under and I'm like, nope, not repeating that, because they're dropping F-bombs, they're calling us the B word.
Well, why do you think that is? Are they disturbed that you're contacting them, or that's just the spirit themselves? What's your opinion on that?
I don't think it's so much that they're disturbed. Some spirit, like if you're an asshole in life, you're going to be, an a-hole after you pass. That's just how it is. Right. So some of the not so nice spirits that we encounter at locations, I think they kind of get a thrill, so to speak, out of have you alone. You're isolated. You're kind of in a deep state of almost meditation when you're doing that. So you're a little more vulnerable.
Have you ever had physical interaction while doing this, or know someone that's got scratched or pushed or grabbed or while doing this?
Not while doing that, but on investigations in general. Yeah, a lot of people have gotten scratched, gotten marks on their bodies that they can't explain. I've personally been choked.
Oh, well, let's hear a little bit about that.
So I was in the basement of the Pashet House in Montgomery, and I was with a couple people. We had some equipment set up, and in one area of the basement, there's a very, I want to say, heavy presence. I don't want to say it's evil or anything like that. It's just not very nice. It makes it known that it wants you to go away. And so me and another investigator that were down there both felt a lot of pressure right here. Like get out.
Do you know that going into an investigation? Do you know that like from previous people that have been there, do you know what the spirits do there? Do you go to most places in blind?
It depends. Sometimes we do private cases in people's homes. So they'll tell us before what kind of experiences they're having and things like that. We went into one, and the man was actually thinking that he was getting chased by hellhounds during his run. He was smelling sulfur. He had all kinds of crazy experiences that would make you think like demon, traditionally. So we were kind of prepared for that when we went in.
How do you guys go about choosing where you're going to go? How do you do it as a team? Do you guys sit down and say, we want to go to this place because we've never been there? Or do we want to go to this place because it's highly active? How do you go about choosing where you guys are going to investigate?
It's a good mix, I think. We love to go into places that have never been investigated before. So we can kind of go into places like that blind and experience things firsthand for ourselves without any kind of preconceived notions. But of course, we like going to the big places too, because let's be honest, if it's got that kind of reputation, it's probably really active. So when we're trying to pick a location for like an event, say, we'll look at historic societies, we'll look at different historic locations in our area. We'll reach out to them, see who can maybe use some fundraising and who'd be open to it. Because it's kind of a hard sell.
Do they meet you with open arms, knowing that what you guys want to accomplish, knowing that you want to come in, raise money for the location at the same time?
Some of them, it really depends. If you get somebody who's really cool on the board, because a lot of the historic societies are run by, older people. Some of them are very like, nope, no thank you, not interested, never in a million years. And some are like, this is so cool, I want to be there the whole time and investigate with us, which gets really cool results because they're in that property all the time.
Usually, how long are you in the homes investigating? Do you have a certain time limit, or do you guys just call it if nothing's going on? How do you go about by this? Now, this is again, I'm asking these questions, Ari, because this is new to me. It might be new to a lot of people in the audience. So this is how we learn, and we're learning. And Nicole's kind enough to fill us in on how they do it. So that's the questions I'm asking right now, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty once we get past this a little bit.
It depends. It depends on what our goal is. So this one location we've been doing a lot recently, Mizzier Homestead in Wappingers, we've spent hours in there. We've gone in for like a preliminary investigation where we've kind of checked out what the hot spots are in preparation for an event. We did 4-hour event there where we brought guests in, the public came in, they learned a little bit about the house. We split up into groups and investigated. So we could be somewhere for 8 hours. We could be somewhere for an hour. It just depends on what we're trying to accomplish.
Are there members of the team that get more activity than others in your team?
I think we all get a decent amount of activity. We have a really tight-knit little para family with other groups that we collaborate with really often in the area. And when we're all together, the activity is off the charts. I think it has to do with like the energy and how it's really fun. Because like I say, when you're at a party, who do you want to hang out with? The person who's like super serious and miserable in the corner? Or do you want to hang out with the group of friends who are all laughing and having a good time?
Right.
I think spirits are the same way.
I just got I think I'm echoing in something. I think I might be too loud on your end. Do you hear that echo?
I don't hear an echo, but let me turn you down.
Check one. Hello? Yeah, that's better.
All right.
Yeah.
There might be a little bit of a delay. So you're echoing.
I don't know.
We're good now.
We're good. So do you have a home base? Do you guys have like a place that you guys like to visit all the time, or that's close to you that you're very familiar with and call it home?
We have a lot of places that we like to go to. Like I said, Mizzier Homestead, we've been going to a lot. We actually just filmed something there for the News 12 channel. So that's going to be coming out in October. We've done a bunch of investigations. The Edmonston House over in Vales Gate, we pretty much go there every year to do tours with them for Halloween. The Shanley Hotel, one of our team members works there. So we do a lot there too.
So the Shanley. Now that's going to be an interesting place because we're going to be visiting there soon with Al Santariga, and you're going to be part of it. And your friend there is going to be part of it that works at the hotel, and we're going to go up there for a night. This is going to be my first 100% paranormal investigation. What are we to expect from the hotel? I've seen it on TV. I've seen all the big names go up there. I mean, so to me they're big names because I don't know any difference. The ones you see on TV, yeah. They all go there. Well, what are some of the things that go on at the Shanley?
There's so much that goes on there. But the thing with the Shanley is you can have a really active night or you can have a really slow night. I've been there when we've gotten nothing. Not an EVP, not a REM pod going off or a cat ball. Nothing. And then we've gone there and got screamed at and people are being pushed and the activity is literally just off the charts.
So what's the story on the Shanley? Why are the spirits there? Well, what's the 411 on the Shanley?
Depends on who you ask. Some people will tell you that there's portals all over the Shanley. And there's a portal room where a lot of people feel dizzy in and things are coming through. They have a lot of resident spirits because it's had a very long, interesting history. There was the Shanleys themselves. There was mob activity. There was a lot of deaths, suicides, just everything you can think of happened at the Shanley.
Is there a spirit there that's more common that likes to introduce itself more than any other?
My favorite spirit at the Shanley is Rosie. She is a little girl. I believe she's 3, and she drowned in a well on the Shanley property. And there's EVPs of her saying like she wants cake when people are having birthday parties there. There's Rosie's room up in the bordello where they have all kinds of toys and books out for her, and she'll tell you, which one's her favorite. She'll light stuff up if you're reading it. We like to bring toys when we go there to play with her. So we'll have, instead of your traditional REM pods, we'll have things like teddy bears or dolls that we like to use to interact with her.
Explain to all the folks who don't know what a REM pod is.
So a REM pod, it is kind of a proximity sensor. The antenna emits an electromagnetic field, and if something breaks that field, it beeps and lights up. So that'll let us know if, in theory, a spirit is interacting.
Right. So, and when then you mentioned portals on the property. Now, we mentioned we had Father Bob on a little while ago. And Father Bob came on straight on here and told everybody the portals are real. Now, you hear portals in Bigfoot all the time. Do they come from portals? There's no such thing as portals. But in the paranormal world, portals are a real thing. They're a thing that you guys look for. You look for those high energies. Is there a certain way you guys can find like a portal? Is there an energy level, or is there anything, or you just assume that there's one in the area? Is there a way to, I guess, to measure them?
A lot of times, psychics will tell you that there's a portal, mediums. Physically, you tend to feel off balance, dizzy, sick, and that's like a common thing where there's a portal. And through that, spirits will be coming through that aren't necessarily related to the property. And you can have a location like the Shanley where spirits will come, kind of stay for a while, and then have no more interaction with people.
It's very interesting because, in my opinion, I think a different way that most, some people think about Bigfoot. And I think that they use these doorways or portals or whatever you want to call them. I don't know, whatever they use. But I think they're the same, like we were talking before the show. I think they can bounce back and forth, and they use these things to come back and forth. I think, but the spirit comes in energy. They're invisible. They can show themselves. They can manifest, but they're still not a solid object. A Bigfoot is a solid object. I know with doing Andy's show, I know a little bit about Bigfoot or a lot about Bigfoot. What's your opinion on the Bigfoots using a portal area or being able to jump from here to there? What's your opinion on that?
I think that it's just as likely as any other Bigfoot theory.
Right.
We have no idea how they're traveling, how they're kind of like dipping into our plane, if that's what they're doing, how they become invisible and seemingly disappear into nothing. I know portals is a big theory on that they can just open one up and pop in.
Do you think spirits can control a portal, or do you think that's just a natural thing that opens and they can use it when it opens?
If I had to guess, because I'm not a portal expert, I am a ghost hunter that doesn't even necessarily believe in ghosts. I would say it's some kind of natural phenomena. Kind of like how Skinwalker Ranch is like a hot spot and they have all these like electromagnetic fluctuations and anomalies that they can't explain. Right. Kind of like that.
You want to explain to everybody a little bit of what you just said, because Nicole likes to debunk herself. She doesn't know what she questions what she's hearing, and that's a good thing. You want to just fill in a little bit how your technique is when you're investigating?
Oh, how I don't actually believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
So we know that something is happening when we go out into these locations. We know that I ask a question and my equipment goes off in response. I know that I get EVPs. But as to what's actually doing that, I'm not convinced. I'm open to theories of, time overlapping and kind of blending into each other. I'm open to the fact that we could project our intentions onto these devices. I'm open to the fact that they may be the spirits of a deceased loved one or something interdimensional. So I believe that something's happened and I would really like to find out what, but I'm not 100% sold on the ghost idea.
Right. And we were talking a little bit pregame about that, and we were talking about Bigfoot footprints. Now, I have never personally seen a Bigfoot put a footprint down. I'm sure a lot of people in the audience have never seen a Bigfoot lay a footprint down. We were talking about residual haunting. You want to explain to everybody what a residual haunting before I continue with our story here about the footprint?
Yeah, so residual haunting is a type of haunting in which a spirit just continuously replays the same motion. Say every night at 7 p.m., someone walks down a hall. Someone is going to walk down that hall at 7 p.m., whether you're there or not, whether your equipment is in the middle of their path, it's going to happen. It's just like a videotape replaying versus an intelligent haunting where it's something that you can interact with. You ask them to interact with your equipment and they do. So that's kind of the difference.
Right. So we were talking about a Bigfoot print being a residual haunting of having a caveman, so to speak, once every 20 years every 20 years he'll make a footprint in the sand, footprint in the thing, because we find lots of prints that are just one print. So every 20 years, this one guy comes across and he leaves a big footprint in that place, and that's it. And then he's gone for another 20 years. I mean, again, it's wide open. Like you said, it's just wide open. Nobody really knows what's going on out there. You can only go where it brings you. Your evidence brings you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I applaud you being a ghost hunter that doesn't believe in ghosts and questions, but you do kind of believe in ghosts. I mean, you're experiencing something, not exactly category, ghost, but you're experiencing something. And could we be manifesting our own? Do you believe that manifesting is something we could be doing for the spirits? We're manifesting what we want to hear or see. Do you think that could be it?
100%. I mean, think about it. You have like 12 people sitting around in a room staring at a REM pod, like wanting it to go off. Because, you want to see something happening. You're sitting in a dark basement. You're spending all this time. You want something out of it. So what's to say that the energy from all these people wanting the same thing doesn't make the REM pod go off?
Right. Yeah. That's wild. That's a great answer. You're 100% right. You don't know. It's pretty wild. And
there have been experiments actually where people bring a group of investigators into a building and they tell the story like, oh, there's a little girl here. She wears a white dress. She has a blue bow in her hair. And then the investigators come in and they start asking questions along that line, like, a little girl, what's your name? What color is your bow? And they get the responses to a made up story.
Wow. That's I've never heard that before. That's pretty wild. How often is that done? Is that done on I mean, obviously it's done on purpose, but they do it I guess I don't know how to word it. Is it just a social experiment on their end, or are they doing it maliciously? That's the word I was looking for.
I think it's more a social experiment to see, because we personally in our investigations sometimes do something where we'll have the recorder out and we'll try to get everybody to project a word onto an EVP to see if we can do it. So it's similar to that. I don't think it's being done to really mislead people more than to test the theory.
Right. That reminds me of like Barb Shoop. You know Barb Shoop up in Washington. She's a Bigfooter. She's the one that caught the one on cloaking on videotape. I'm sure you've seen the video, but they have campouts all the time, and they have like 30 people there, and they sit around and they play music, and they're all manifesting they want to have a Bigfoot experience, and they usually get a Bigfoot experience. So wow, I never put that together before. That's pretty wild. I mean,
same thing with CE5s. Like when you're going out and you're trying to commune with aliens, are you manifesting the activity, or are you like reaching out to them and they're reaching back out to you?
right. Yeah, we tried
questions and answers.
Yeah, we did that down in Florida. We tried to do that a little bit, and we actually got a recording back at us at this one area, and only on my recorder. And my friend Bud, who's in the audience, put his recorder 20 feet away from mine, and he didn't get it back on his, only on my recorder. And nobody has been able to figure out what the sound is yet. And we sent it to Mr. Dan Antonio, and it's been a lot of places, and nobody can figure out what this noise is. It's a vibration, it's a hum, it's very strange. But we played the CE5 experiments while we were there, and that night when we were gone, this thing that sounds like a UFO from the 1950s is only on my recorder. It's pretty wild. So that's another thing I want to start learning about, is the ET scene. So there's so much to learn, and there's so many fascinating people to talk to and learn all this stuff. So
yeah, I'm really blessed that on our show, like, we get the whole gamut of cryptids and Bigfoot and Dogman and like UFOs and ghosts. We get everything, even like some conspiracy people. So I learn a lot.
Right. And it's a great show. If you guys don't know it, Alien 8 UK is on YouTube. Andy Decodes, it's his creation, I would say. I guess he's the one that got it and brought Nicole in, and it's a great show. So you guys should definitely put it on your subscribe list, and go over and tell them that Real American Monsters sent you over. So we're gonna have Andy on the show soon. I didn't want to have them both on the show at the same time, because it kind of blends into each other, and you don't get the one-on-one interaction. So I like it better this way. So
and then you just get me picking on Andy for like an hour.
Right. So what are some of the other tools that you like to use out in the field? What are some of the most important things? What are the things that get reactions? What other things do you guys like to use out there?
So K2s, EMF detectors.
Those are, pretty standard. You see those on all the shows,
where they detect electromagnetic fields, and in theory, spirits manifesting make changes in the electromagnetic field. You see the ones a lot on TV with the lights. And can you touch this and light it up to red? Can you touch this and light it up to orange? So we get a lot of interaction with that.
Andy knows me as the cat
ball lady, because when we first interviewed, I had little cat balls set up in the background of the show, and if you touch them, they light up. They're actually cat toys. So we get a lot of interactions with that. A lot of things that you wouldn't really think of, like kids' toys and motion gesture controlled robots. A lot of things that are not even made for the paranormal we use.
That's pretty neat. I've got all those toys I'm starting to use. I've actually, what is really cool, and I wanted to share this with you, is these speaker things that you can get. I don't know if it's got batteries in it. Made up. Probably dead. Oh, there it is. No, it's dead. But anyways, these things go by vibration. So if you put them on the table and you just tap it, this thing will go all the way up. It's supposed to get sound, but it works on vibration. So I'm working on a thing. I got like 8 of them. I'm going to set them up on making up like a jig or something, and then just place it down on the forest and see what happens if something comes in from the forest, and see if it lights it up. I'm getting hints from you guys. I'm watching what you all are doing, and we're trying to bring it into what we're doing, because we use the tri-field meters now for Bigfooting. I do. A lot of my friends use it. I was getting stones thrown at me while getting radio frequency at 16.5 what was it? Forgot the measurement, but we had a satellite technician reach out to us and tell us that there's no way you should be experiencing that much radiation in the middle of the forest. Zero. You should no way in whatsoever be experiencing that. So we are now using those out in the field. You guys bring anything to test RF? You guys go after radio frequency, anything like that with your tri-field meters that you bring out?
Yeah, people do use that in the field. We don't that much in our investigations, but it's always something to look into because there's definitely a connection, I think, between all of the different aspects of the phenomena, as they call it.
So are most of the spirits that you have encountered over the years been friendly, and have you ever experienced the not so friendly?
Yes. Yep, we definitely experienced not so friendly. I think a majority of them are just people who like really loved their home and are happy to interact. But we do get some, like I mentioned, the one case where the man thought that he had a demon in his house, but it was really just his brother-in-law, who was not a very nice person. He was a murderer, and he was trying to scare him. So once we kind of found out that that wasn't the case, it's not a demon, the homeowner had a lot more power to say, hey, I know who you are. I'm not afraid of you. And then a lot of the activity stopped.
Do you experience a lot of the demon type hauntings? Have you experienced a lot of them, or are they few and far between?
I feel like they're very few and far between. We've talked to demonologists who will tell you they've gone out almost their whole careers and they've seen maybe one or two actual cases of demonic possession or a demonic haunting. I think everybody jumps to demon because of YouTube and buzzwords and ghost adventures and everything's a demon. But if everything's a demon, then nothing's a demon.
Right. That's the same thing that Father Bob said. And they're usually, he says they cowered away from him. They're scared of him. He doesn't really have to, do too much. So he said the TV thing was it's just like it's a more of a multiplier than it does it any good. How do you approach something that you would come across, just by example? You don't have to give a certain case if that's not what you're supposed to bring it up. I don't know the rules after you get rid of one. I don't know if you can mention them again if they come back or what. But how do you go about if you got a case, say someone called you and said, I think I have a demon in my house, this is what's going on. How would your group approach that situation?
So before we go into somebody's house, we always ask a lot of questions. We kind of try to figure out where they are, like mentally, if they have any issues that might be presenting as paranormal, like substance abuse, mental health issues. And once we deem that, that's probably not the case, we'll ask them about the activity that they're experiencing. Most of the time it's something that we can handle, but if it's not, if it's something where we think there might actually be a case of a demon or something just out of our realm, we'll call in somebody like Father Bob. We'll ask them their opinion. We'll have them go out if it's necessary.
It's not like the Amityville Horror, I mean, there's not flies in the windows and stuff coming out of the walls. Is that a real thing?
There can be. I know people who have experienced furniture flying around the room, and I don't question that. These are reliable people, reliable demonologists who go to cases like the Amityville Horror, who go to cases like things for the Conjuring, and they've experienced it. We as a group have not. We've experienced your more typical haunting. Sometimes they're a little nasty, but it's really nothing that we should be scared of.
So I filled you in a little bit about what's been going on with me, and I don't want to get too much into it, and I'm not going to share everything. I just share when, I just don't share everything. Is there a way that a house that's got that's got a bad spirit, is there a way that a house could reach out over miles to someone and make it known that it's calling a certain individual? Could that happen? I mean, this has nothing to do with me. I was just curious because I've seen it explained before.
Well, as much as houses can be haunted, people can be haunted. You could have an attachment following you. You could have an attachment on an item that you brought with you. But yes, to answer your question, I feel like houses or haunted locations can reach out to a person. We were scheduled to go to the Hinsdale house, and one of my teammates, Lisa, she started having all these dreams about it. Before we've never been there. And then eventually she ended up deciding not to go because she had a dream that one of her guides was like standing in the doorway and would not let her in. So she took that as a sign that she shouldn't go.
Yeah. There's a house in Kansas. You know what house I'm talking about in Kansas? That I don't want to say the name.
I think is it? I don't know how to ask you without giving it away.
Oh, you can say the name. I'm just not going to say it.
Okay, is it the Axe House?
No, Al knows it. Al? Can you say the name of the house in Kansas for me in the chat real quick? So, anyways, what you just explained, I've had that same experience with this house in Kansas. And I know people are going to say, oh, but no, this is the real thing. And that's why I ask him these questions, because it's very strange.
Mm-hmm.
Al knows all about it because he's my parapsychologist, I guess is what you would call him. But very haunted.
They call you in.
Yeah. And then Al goes, I ain't going in that house with you. We're not going to that house. And I'm like, I have no intention to go in the house. But every time I would turn the TV on, the house would be on. Every time I went to look at something, the house was on. And then, like you said, the dreamed about the house. It just, I don't know. It's weird stuff.
Yeah. I mean, there's something to it. So something is either calling you and you should go or warning you and you should stay away.
Yeah, no, I'm not going. I have no idea. I don't want to. I've seen everybody goes to that and they say they never want to go back there again. And
I'll go. I'll go anywhere. I tell my team, they're like, do you want to go to this place? Do you want to go to I'm like, I will literally investigate a dumpster. I don't care.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you the Sally house.
Oh, okay. Yes. I know the Sally house.
Yes. Now that is, look at my hair. My hair on my arm just standing straight up right now, just saying the name. That is just, yeah. But anyways, we were not going to talk about the Sally house anymore. I just wanted to ask that question if something could call out from miles and miles away like that.
It can. I think so.
What are some of the techniques that you think that the Sasquatch folks could use in the field that you all use in your field and might get some results on investigating with?
Have you used dowsing rods out in the field?
I have mine already.
So that's
here.
a big one. A lot of times when we can't get any results from like our high-tech, super techy equipment, we'll go back to old school stuff. We'll use pendulums. We'll use dowsing rods because it's something that's a little more familiar. And it's something that Bigfoot Sasquatch might be a little more familiar with too, since they've been used for years and years to find water.
So why the copper? Why the copper rods? What's the attraction to energy with the copper? Is it just because it's a conductor? Is that the reason why it's used?
That's what the theory is, that it's because it's a good conductor of energy. So it's conducting, energy from your own hands up and out, kind of like an antenna.
And they make coils out of them and all that stuff. So, all right. Well, let's take a couple questions because we're getting close to the hour mark already, and we'll take some questions here. Let's go. I'm going to start this one here, but let's go. All right. So Al asks, has Nicole ever experienced an attachment?
I have not. I know people who have, but I personally haven't. I go into locations with a very strong intent of nothing bad is going to happen and nothing bad happens. I mean, knock on wood.
I had one and I didn't know about it until I had scratches under my arms, and my grandchildren were seeing monsters in the corners of the house, and we had to bring in a priest and everything. Yeah, wild. Francesca asks, "Does your group use Ouija boards?"
We don't. My theory on Ouija boards has changed a lot since I've been doing this. It used to be like, don't use them, they're bad. But now I just kind of see it like any other tool. We don't use them, or I don't use them, because I feel like there can be a lot of manipulation there. It's very easy to push the planchette and make it say what you want to say.
We were talking, I was telling you about Frank, Al's brother. Well, they were doing a Ouija board session one time, and they were all sitting at the table, and the Ouija board was still on the table behind them. And he caught the other guy's wife looking over his shoulder, and her eyes got pie-eyed. And he's like, "What's going on? What's going over the shoulder?" They all looked, and the Ouija board thing was moving by itself on the board.
Oh, see, that I'd buy. That I would buy.
Yeah. I mean, Al's brother's got some pretty cool stuff he's been experienced too. Grandizier 12 asks, of all the tech you use, which one tech needs the biggest upgrade and why?
I don't think we need to upgrade tech. I think we need to make new tech, because I think people have tried to kind of perfect what we already have, but we need new ideas and new technology.
Right. Okay, so that was a great question, and we were going to get to this. So now we are here, and you brought us right into it. They have been experiencing with new tech now, and she filled me in a little bit about pre-show, and I will let her explain that the new tech they are trying to use out in the field.
Which tech was that? Well, we talked about a lot of things pre-show.
We were talking about the image in front. Remember the magnetic?
The neurovisor. Yeah. So I was doing some stuff with Frankie and Anthony from the Parasite Project. We were at the Samuel Miller Mansion a couple weeks back, and it's actually pretty cool. It's this little headset, and it emits light like directly in your face, and has binaural beats on headphones, and it's supposed to increase neuroplasticity and kind of put you into a deep meditative state. And so what they're testing is the neurovisor and paranormal investigations. So doing that first, and then investigating location to see if you get more activity, if you're more open. And it was a really cool experience.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it'll work. I think you probably start seeing images if you get deep enough into that meditation. Because once you're in that I don't know if you meditate. I do. Once you get into that space where you're in meditation, you don't know whether you're sleeping, you don't know where you are, you're just there, and it's pretty wild. So if you can have that tool that brings you there, and then start trying to interact with whatever else is in there, who knows? The possibilities are endless for sure.
People were reporting some crazy stuff. People were reporting seeing themselves like flying over pyramids. What I saw was, when they had like sand or water and they play a frequency and it starts showing all these different geometric patterns. That's what I saw.
Oh, that's pretty wild. My buddy Bud had asked if I could play the EVP that we got from Snellgrove. I couldn't be able to find it quick enough, Bud, but that I should have had it put up. But we caught this EVP. So we discovered that that we believe that Sasquatch is using a 40 hertz hum, a frequency, and it's been captured all over America, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we call blasted it up at Snellgrove Lake in Canada. And that night we had an orb show like none other. There were orbs out on the lake. They were around the cabin. I mean, we're in the middle of nowhere. There's 500 square miles of nothing. And orbs are all around the house. And all of a sudden, we're listening to the cameras, the security cameras that we got up there. And something comes across the camera and goes, "I'll talk with you." Just like that.
Oh.
We don't know. And we all heard it. All 5 of us just said, it was plain as day, "I'll talk with you." And it was, we don't know if it's a Native American language or it's saying, I'll talk with you, but that's exactly what it says. It was pretty wild. But
Wow.
that 40 hertz is a thing. So do you guys ever play with like certain levels of frequencies while you're out?
I do. Yeah. I have the frequency generator on my phone, and I've been playing around a little bit with playing a certain frequency and seeing if it kind of ramps up the activity. I'm really interested in infrasound and ultrasound to see how that affects the activity we're getting as well.
Yeah. You should give that 40 hertz a whirl. We're getting reactions out in the field with it. We're calling things in that throw stones. We don't see what's throwing stones, but something is, and we're using them.
Bigfoot and ghosts both throw stones.
Right.
It's a very common theme.
That's funny because there's another guy that's in the audience, Chris Calabrese, and we were talking about that on the way up to my area the other day. I said, now that I'm into this whole paranormal and starting to learn more about the paranormal, ghosts throw stones too.
Yeah,
so
they never throw money.
Right. So if we're not seeing what's throwing stones, we don't know what's throwing the stones at. It could be a Bigfoot, could be a ghost. It could be, who knows? Could be an 8-foot chipmunk. I don't know. I'm not seeing
that's
it.
The overlap that a lot of people don't explore. Like, are we out hunting the same thing and we just don't know it? You call it Bigfoot, we call it ghosts.
Right.
Because if you don't see it, like a Bigfoot in the woods could be a shadow figure in a haunted house.
Yeah. Or spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love this. I love where I'm heading, at least with what I believe. And I love meeting people like yourself and Al and everybody in the audience, and just all enlightening stuff. So, all right, let's get this question up. Nicole and Chris, do you think there is a golden age of ghost research? If so, what decade or era? Is it these current times, or have we not seen it yet? Is it due to all the tech that we have now? So I'll have to let Nicole answer that because I'm not too sure on the history.
I don't think we've gotten to it yet. I think with the development of AI and the development of all kinds of new technology, we're seeing things in the field that we've never seen before. I think that we're going to get a lot more researchy answers rather than just experiences.
That makes
because
sense.
of all the technology coming out.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with you. That's a great answer. Okay, here we go. Another question from Grand Desir. He's our biggest question here tonight. Nicole, apologies if asked before. Is there a location that is your go-to location for research? Place where spirits seem to interact with you the most?
We don't really have a go-to. We have a lot of places. Like I said before, the Mizzier Homestead, Edmondson House. We love the Ritz Theater, the Shanley. We're lucky to be really close to a lot of cool places.
Okay. Ms. Francesca asks, where does the name Estes come from? For Estes method, always wondered.
It comes from, I believe, the name of the person that created it, but I am not 100% sure. No, wait, it's a place. It's a place. It comes from a place.
Is it the hotel?
Where they started doing it.
Is it from Estes Park in Colorado? From the Shining?
Yes. Gansfield is after a person. Estes is after the place.
I've seen that place. That place is absolutely huge.
Mm-hmm.
Out in the middle of nowhere. It's a cool place.
That's on my list.
Yeah, I didn't go in or anything, but we were going to the park out there to Rocky Mountain National, and you got to go by it, so it's pretty cool. Thank you. She says thank you. Thank you. I know some researchers have good luck in that. For whatever reason, the spirit will interact with the research team. So what do you got coming up? Well, what's your big plans? What's coming up for you and your team?
October is crazy, because ghost hunting. We have library presentations. We have an event at the Carnwath Estate, September 17th in Wappingers. And that place has never been investigated before, other than when we just did a preliminary walkthrough. It was a monastery, a dormitory for the monks. It was a residential facility for the mentally disabled. And now it kind of sits empty. they left everything, and it looks like one of those zombie movies where like you walk in, there's still like papers all over. So I'm looking forward to that.
Pretty cool to
We're
go
doing
on.
the Hollow on October 4th, so the Hollow Paranormal Convention in New Jersey.
And the Shanley with me and Al.
Yeah. Yep.
That's going to be, I'm looking kind of forward to it. I don't know. I just don't. But
You'll have fun. You'll have fun. It's a cool place.
So a couple more questions, and then we're gonna let Nicole get on with her night. Wisbabs asks, have you ever had poltergeist activity during an investigation?
I've had a digital voice recorder move on me. So we were sitting there doing an EVP session, and the recorder was sitting on the table, and it literally turned around. We've had some things move slightly where you can't tell, but that was the big one where I'm like, that moved. Everybody saw it, and you could see, okay, it was facing this way, and now it's facing a completely different way.
Have you ever had stuff thrown at you? Like we've had stones. I've had stones thrown at us. Have you ever had stuff thrown at you, like a stone?
Yeah. Yep. At Burnbrae Manor in Glen Spey, we had some things like little rocks or pebbles thrown in the room that they discovered, the secret hidden room.
Yeah, it kind of makes you scratch your head when something comes flying at you and lands behind you, and but I also enjoy it. I think it's pretty cool because it takes energy or hands or something to get it towards you. All right, so we're gonna have one more question, and we're gonna get on with the contest, and then we're gonna let Nicole get on with her night. So here we go. Here's the last question. John Ayers asks, what is your number one best evidence?
My favorite piece of evidence is a video that we shot in Milford, Pennsylvania. This woman was having some crazy activity in her office. She called us in to do an investigation. We had a proximity sensor set up on the door because that's where she was having the experiences of like the door rattling. And I'm recording that, and a shadow figure comes up, blocks out the window of the door. And I stop recording because I'm like, oh, it's a person. That's why it's going off. We all thought it was so solid. We all thought it was a human, living human, walking up to the door. I stop recording. We go up to check it out because I'm always the one who has to go check it out because everybody else is scared. There's nobody in the building. Not a single person. They could not have gotten away fast enough. So, like an idiot, I stopped recording what was probably the best capture that I've ever gotten. A solid shadow figure.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, I'm going to have one more question because this is important, and then I'll stop. I'm sorry. They keep on rolling in, but this is a good one, too. I forgot to ask this. How do you protect yourself from something following you home?
So this is controversial. And I know I'm in the minority and it won't work for everybody, but I'm just saying nothing's going to follow me home. I just say nothing's following me home. Nothing is going to attach to me. I'm not going to get any kind of negativity from this place, and I don't.
Right.
Which is why I'm also the one who has to go out in the hallway and look for the creepy shadow figures.
All right, well, we're going to give away the book now, everybody. So to win the book, you got to take the title of this interview, the ghost hostess with the most ghosts, right? And you have to write it down, type it in 3 times quickly when I say go in the chat. So 3 times you have to say the ghost hostess with the most ghosts 3 times, and then you will win Frankie's autograph book. Are you guys?
I don't know if I can say that 3 times in a row.
No, I mean, if they could all say it, I'd make them do that, but it's pretty cool. So you guys got to, the wrenches, you guys got to help me. Whoever gets it done first wins. You guys ready? Set.
Go, go, go.
Go. Not an easy one.
No, that's a long one.
I got 2 finger typing, so it'd take me about 20 minutes.
Have people not learned copy and paste?
Oh, don't give away the secrets. Oh, wait.
Oh, do we see one?
Yeah, you got to do it 3 times. Oh, oh. Miss Franceschi wins it.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, she did it. So
And I'm going to have a talk with Al about not telling me about his brother.
Right. So I was telling her all about Frankie, Al, and they're going to call him up and get him on the show. So let him know. So I wanted to say a big thank you for you to stopping in tonight and educating us on the ghost scene, and love to have you back down the road after. Well, they're definitely going to have you back after we do the investigation at the Shanley.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll all do a show, and we'll all talk about what went on and what happened, and we'll definitely do that. So don't forget, everybody, to go check out Alienate UK on YouTube and say hi and tell them Real American Monsters sent you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great show. Yeah, it's a great show. Great people. Make sure you go on there, go on over and say hi. So. Thank you, Nicole. And if you want to hang backstage, I'll be back shortly. I'm just going to say goodnight to everybody, and then I'll be back.
Sounds good.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Nicole. Oh, boy.
You had it the first time.
Chivattoni.
Good job.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, everybody. What a great show. Thank you for keeping it cool in the chat room. You guys were great questions once again. I love seeing you guys every week. Thank you for keeping it clean. We had a great guest tonight. It was awesome. Next week, my guest will be Mr. Kane Michael himself will be with us, the Woodland Spirit. And you guys not familiar with Kane, we are going to hear a lot about Bigfoot next week, and it's going to be a great guest to have on the show, and I'm looking very forward to it. So congratulations to Francesca on the book. I got your address and everything. We will get it out to you as soon as possible. So thanks again to everybody for another great show and a great night, and I wish you all have a great week this week and a great weekend, and we will see you all next Tuesday again. And as my friend Larry says, everybody, get in the woods, people.
Out of my head, out of bed, still sleeping. Could I be dead? Or is it something I have done? Did I lead you on to think that I was gone? Trapped inside a fake reality. Better days will never come for me. How can I be honest with myself when I'm always playing someone else? Once in a while, I get tired of talking. I put on a smile and let my alter ego out wherever I will go. The stains will always show.